What's going on, everybody? This is the South Beach guys. This is Peter.
This is Janley.
And this is Danny.
Today's going to be the first episode of a discussion series we want to have for the channel, where we discuss about the current events in gaming and the such. This wasn't actually supposed to be the first episode. The first episode was supposed to be about the Philip Mewson and IGN controversy. However, the reason we're not posting that video is because of something that did occur recently that we all talked together and we felt that this was something we needed to discuss for a lot of reasons that we're going to get into. So I'm sure by the time that this video is up, everyone has heard about the shooting that happened in Jacksonville that happened over a Madeon video game tournament, where basically the shooter was a contestant in it. He lost and he felt the need to draw his firearm and kill several people there. Now I don't really want to give a confirmed number of fatalities because I've looked through numerous sources and no one seems to really have the same number. It's either 2 or 3 or 4. So it's just confirmed that unfortunately people did die, and there was 10 plus, I believe, that were shot but are still thankfully alive. This shooting hits at home for us three for a lot of reasons. Because for one thing, of course, it was in Jacksonville. We all live in Florida, which I'm sure is implied by the name of our channel, the South Beach guys. But yeah, we're all born and raised in Florida. We've been up and down the coasts, up and down Florida, from Key West to Orlando to Jacksonville to Tallahassee. And it never gets easy hearing about stuff that happened on your own, where you live. Like when the Parkland shooting had just happened, another very controversial event, another tragic event. And another thing regarding this is that I don't want to hog the video by talking. Of course, I'm going to give the floor to you guys momentarily, but I just also wanted to say that all three of us are firearms enthusiasts. Yeah, we're all firearms enthusiasts. We get together to go shooting at a shooting range, and we thoroughly enjoy the activity of shooting as a hobby and as an activity together. It's a great activity to do with friends and family. And to hear that the things that we love and talk about, it's never an easy reminder that hey, people do have evil intentions with these and take innocent lives. All right, so I'm gonna pass over the floor to you gentlemen. What's going through your mind on this whole thing?
Honestly, I can't say I'm numb to this whole thing because this is not a trend that I like. That I like nowadays. All these shootings coming out of nowhere this year, last year. It's just, it's fucking terrible, man. Well, what can I say, man? A lot of innocent lives were taken today. Well, yesterday or whenever it happened.
Well, this video will be up by the day after it occurred on Monday.
Oh, okay. Well, when it did happen, it was, I heard about it today, so. Yeah.
We were actually all together, believe it or not. The three of us were all together recording for future content when we had just learned it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, what do you want to say regarding?
Honestly, sorry, I have one more.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry. I hate the fact that this guy brought his gun, thinking that he would need it to protect himself. I mean, why else would you bring a gun?
To a video game tournament of all places.
Yeah, to a fucking video game. Yeah, and he became the thing that he probably set out to defend himself from.
Yeah, you carry. I conceal carry.
I'm planning to.
I conceal carry. It's because I take, of course, my safety and, of course, my life very seriously. You know, I never want those things to happen so that I can go in and try to be a hero. You know, it's, to be honest, you know, I paid good money and, you know, waited a good time for my license. But I really hope it never needs to come into play. I really hope I never have to draw my firearm to protect myself. But
it's
yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
As you said, which really does ring true, you know, I'm sure he carried his pistol because he wanted to protect his life. But he became the very thing that he carries for.
Yeah.
And he took innocents' lives.
Yeah. Apparently, I think I read somewhere that guns were actually banned in that event. Like, they weren't allowed to have it.
Well,
I mean, it was a game tournament in a restaurant, a sports bar, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I imagine security wasn't, if there even was security, which I really doubt. It was just a tournament organized by a sports bar. You know, I found out recently that, I believe it was, I don't know if this is for all the major cons, but I know for San Diego Comic-Con, they still don't have metal detectors. And it was only 10 years ago that another highly populated area just got metal detectors, and then San Diego Comic-Con still doesn't have metal detectors.
To be fair, we don't have metal detectors in any of the conventions centers in Florida. They still don't, which they fucking need.
I mean, in areas like that, cons, thousands of people, there's going to be at least a good percentage that at the very least don't have something right going on in their head.
Yeah.
Danny, what are your thoughts about what transpired?
Honestly, it's just really sad that this stuff happens. Like, if people, like, he might have had a problem in his life or something, but he could have gone get help instead of taking out all his problems on other people. Right?
He just made a bunch of widows, bunch of people, you know, people have lost their sons, daughters, or what have you, you know?
And over a reason, like losing a game.
A tournament. Seriously, the one thing to throw your life away and throw other people's lives away for because you lost at a video game? Come on.
Yeah, like, it's messed up.
We should be better as a fucking race.
Human race, that is, of course.
Yes, human race.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we all are, humans.
Well, I touched a bit about how this happened, you know, close to home, and how we are all firearms enthusiasts, and that, you know, it's always sad when stuff like this happens. As people that actually genuinely enjoy the hobby of you know, shooting, you know, to see that they can, you know, you should never forget that these devices do have the capability to kill, you know. But the biggest takeaway from all this is the video game aspect. You know, people play video games to escape hearing about stuff like this.
Yeah.
I've read stories about people in conflict zones. Not like crazy conflict zones where every building is bombed out, but like, you know, countries that will have like civil wars, and people have posted their stories about how video games. I think there was one post I saw where someone said that the Legend of Zelda game that came out for the Switch pretty much allowed this person to completely forget that they live in an area that's in constant war. Yeah. And That's the power video games has. It allows you to just disconnect from reality.
It's
Lets you think. It lets you immerse yourself to be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do. And also it brings a sense of community, you know, like before online gaming really took off, people would chat in forums, get together and start their own LAN parties. And this is kind of what it was, you know. It's like, you know, it was a tournament run by a sports bar. People gathered together to play a game, something that, and everyone that's in there in that tournament knows about the game, and everyone just talks to each other, has fun. This is a sports game tournament, and they can.
It's not even a shooter. It's I don't know how they can link anything of the shooting with an NFL sports game. To be honest, I mean, killing has been around since the beginning of time. You know, the beginning of mankind, and you know, to say that video games influence violence is kind of ignorant, and you know, should be thought of, you know, I don't know how to say this, but continue, Peter.
Well, I'm actually very glad you brought that up, because that was another thing I was going to mention. Yeah, you just know that this is gonna. There's politicians that are gonna take advantage of this to, you know, reignite the movement to restrict video games. It's, you know, it's another unfortunate reality of the world we live in, that people will always look to take advantage of a tragedy. There's always something to be gained from a tragedy to another person or another group. And it's very obvious that politicians will try to reignite that movement again with this. Like,
even though there has been... I'm sorry, but even though there are 10 years worth of documented scientific evidence that you know, proves that video games does not cause violence, you know?
Games actually help with stress.
Exactly.
I mean, a politician just has to read an article. They just have to read that one bit in the article that says, shooter was a contestant in the contest, and when they proceeded to lose, drew his gun. That's all they need to read. And, you know, there's always believers for anything a politician says. Even if a politician says the most ridiculous thing, there's going to be at least some people that will stand with that statement. And yeah, I just know this is not going to lead to anything good, but of course I don't want to make this about the implications that this could cause down the road. This is, of course, about, you know, the victims. In the end of the day, you know, it's all about the people affected by this. Those that are living but are in medical care, and those that didn't have that luxury to, or the fortune to make it, you know.
Even the people that are you know, alive have to deal with the finances as well, you know.
Yeah, healthcare in the United States is
non-existent.
bullshit.
And the trauma,
practically.
They're gonna get charged. They're gonna get charged to know when.
They're gonna be friggin' 60 and still be paying this shit off, basically.
Did you guys know I'm still paying the medical bills for the stuff that for all the medical stuff I had with my knee? And that was back in 2016, man.
Jesus.
I'm still getting bills for that.
I'm still getting bills for my appendix it's ridiculous. But that's a whole that's a whole other topic we can discuss.
For my deadly cold that I got like a year ago.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
This world is kind of...
Yeah, I guess that's there's really not much else to say on this, you know. What happened was tragic. I feel, you know, I really do feel for the families of both the survivors and the deceased in this. It's just tragic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess there's really nothing else to be said. For those watching, I appreciate if you watch the video in its entirety. We appreciate you. If you like what we do, we'd appreciate subscribe, and a like always helps. And definitely keep an eye out for our future content.
And keep an eye out for, these things as well. Be wary, but also enjoy your life.
Everyone, staying vigilant, staying aware of your surroundings, very critical. Although, in something like this, sometimes things really just do come by surprise.
Yeah, you don't have control.
I'm not gonna leave my house for a while. Jacksonville's pretty damn well, not close, but
We live in Miami, a more densely populated city.
It's still. I'm a little shook.
All right, well, for those watching, you take care and have a good night.
All right.
See you.